Yes, yes, yes. Good morning, everybody. Welcome to the party. It is Tuesday, March 10th, 2026. This is Simply Cyber's Daily Cyber Threat Brief podcast. I am your host, two thumbs, all smiles, Dr. Gerald Auger. Coming to you live from the Buffer Auger Flow studio. And I'm telling you right now, if you want to stay current on the top cyber news stories while being entertained, educated, and hanging with the coolest kids this side of, the coolest kids this side of the river, this side of the block, whatever it is, the Simply Cyber community is here. We are rocking and rolling, and we are off and running on this beautiful Tuesday morning. Get your coffee. Let's get cooking. Hello, everybody. Good morning. I hope you had a wonderful Monday night, rolling into a beautiful Tuesday on a great week, off and running. Now, it is Tuesday, not Wednesday, so we haven't hit the halfway point. But I'd like to think that you're just, starting slow, right? You're like the bull at the top of the hill. You don't race down. You saunter down. You picking up what I'm putting down on that one? All right, guys, for real, though. Hey, we're going to go through 8 stories of the day. They are the top cyber stories, and I will be going beyond the headlines, breaking them down with my 20-plus years of industry experience. Many community members above me right there, like Devin Grady, Space Tacos, Mara Levy, Kyle, Marcus Kyler, etc. We collectively have thousands of years of industry experience. So not only am I breaking it down, but many community members will give their angle, their tips, techniques, their suggestions, all in chat. But really, the goal here, the overarching reason that we get up every day and come to the show is because we are looking to level up and make this industry accessible to everyone, regardless of where you are. Dude, if you're a mid-tier person looking to get leveled up to the senior level, there's things you need to know to get to that senior level. You're senior and you want to get to CISO, there's things you got to know. And if you're looking to break in and you want to know how to get to that junior level, you can get it here too. It's all about support. It's all about inclusion. And it's all about good times, baby. Now, speaking about good times, let me tell you about CPEs. It's your CPEs, yeah? That's right. Every single episode of the Daily Cyber Threat Brief, despite the cool shirt and the cool music, it is hold on. If you didn't know what we were doing here, allow me to tell you. Actually, this is an instructor-led webinar. So it's a webinar, therefore we have to make it boring and sterile and no, you could have an instructor-led webinar that doesn't suck. And this is an example of how you can do it. Every episode of the Daily Cyber Threat Brief, half a CPE. It's an hour-long show, but we spend half of it kicking around and, high-fiving and having fun. Half of it, we're digging into the news, getting real, getting fingers dirty, etc. So say what's up in chat. You'll appear right above my head. Tom Marquette, I think. T Marquette for sure. Ad Tech. Crystal Nolan knows what's up. See how Crystal put CPE 31026. Simple as that. Grab a screenshot. Include the title of the show potentially, because you'll see it says Top Cyber News Now, March 10th, episode 1085. That's not a coincidence. We do that deliberately here at Simply Cyber to make it undeniable what that when you were here and what you were doing. So say what's up, grab a screenshot once a year, count the screenshots, right? You do it every day, half a CPE a day. That's 2.5 a week. It's about 10 a month. 120 a year. 600 every 5 years. Dare I say 1,200 a decade? Oh my, we aren't quite there yet, but my point is, get your CPEs. It's all about good times. Now, you are a regular, Elliot Mattice and BW5542. Kyle, our Simply Cyber Community Member of the Week. FM Marian Cohen. Guys, Phil Stafford, Space Tacos. We have so many long-timers here, but every single long-timer was a first-timer at some point. So if today's your first time with us, welcome to the party.
Welcome
We love welcoming our first timers. I like to think first impressions mean a lot, and I want you to feel comfortable and included. So if today's your first episode, drop a hashtag first timer in chat. And if it's your first time on the live, right? Sometimes people are replay only or audio only. If it's your first time live, drop a hashtag first timer in chat and just let us welcome you. We're not going to call you out. We're not going to make you come on stage. We're not going to make you do a dance. We're just going to have some fun. Now, every single episode of the Daily Cyber Threat Brief is sponsored, thank goodness, because I'm able to bring the heat to you. I'm able to buy gear. Right? Got this cool little thing yesterday. Thank you, sponsors. Look at this. It looks like a gun clip, but it actually holds, whoosh, wait for it, memory cards. And it includes a USB and a memory reader. So this thing right here is how I'm going to be accessing memory cards when I'm on travel. But I can't buy those things without the stream sponsors. So shout out to the stream sponsors, starting with Anti-Siphon Training. Anti-Siphon Training is disrupting the traditional cybersecurity training industry by offering high quality, cutting edge education to everyone, regardless of position, regardless of financial position. Now, check this out. Job hunt like a hacker. Jason Blanchard. This guy, all about good times. This guy cares. I really like Jason. He's subdued. He's one half of the Jason and Deb tag team. And today at 10 a.m., he's doing a workshop, Job Hunt Like a Hacker 2026 edition. He's going to give you all sorts of practical tips, tricks to go find work. So if you are in between jobs, if maybe you got reduction in force laid off, maybe you just showed up on a Friday and got told instantly that you didn't work there anymore. Whatever it was, Jason Blanchard is there. Today, you can go do this for as little as $0. You will walk away with a methodology. You will walk away with practical things you can implement now. So don't be shy. Just like Simply Cyber, Anti-Siphon Training is inclusive. Go check it out. Links in the description below to Anti-Siphon. Let me also tell you about Flare. Love Flare. Listen, Flare actually just messaged me yesterday and was like, hey, we're going to be at RSA. Do you want to get dinner? Like, that's the kind of people Flare is. They're cool. Like, I really like Flare, and I like their threat intelligence platform. So if you don't know, go to simplycyber.io/Flare, simplycyber.io/Flare. And you can check out their cyber threat intelligence platform. Listen, guys, the deal is simple. Protection controls are huge. You put controls in place so you don't get popped. But guess what? GRC people will be the first to tell you, you cannot remove all risk. You will have residual risk. You will have some risk exposure. You always have some attack surface. And if a threat actor gets an info stealer on your box, if a threat actor buys creds, if a threat actor is planning something, if a threat actor has post-exploitation C2 communicating with your infrastructure, you may not know it, okay? Flare goes digging into the dark web and those awful Telegram channels and mines all that information and comes back and puts it in a very easily accessible platform. This is what Flare is. They don't also make ham sandwiches. This is all they do. Okay, and they're very good at it. I've used the platform myself. I really like it, which is why I'm super pumped they are a stream sponsor. If you go to simplycyber.io/Flare, you'll be presented with this exact page. It is a registration page. I don't want to register. I just want to use the platform. Yeah, check it out. This platform is so freaking powerful that if a threat actor or a cyber criminal had it, it would be like you've given them superpowers. We're not into that. Flare's not into that. So they do have to validate who you are. Many Simply Cyber community members have done this process and can validate that this isn't some type of ridiculous scam. It is awesome. And once they validate you, you get access to the platform for 2 weeks, which is more than enough time to determine if it's going to add value to your community. I mean, to your organization. Spoiler alert, it absolutely is. Thank you, simplycyber.io/Flare. Also, let's hear from ThreatLocker, those who hosted the Zero Trust World last week. And a company that's basically exploding, as far as I'm concerned, with growth and just success. Here's the deal. ThreatLocker does one thing really well: deny by default application security, and they do it incredibly well. And if you ask anyone who uses it, they will tell you the same thing. Well, let's hear from ThreatLocker, and then I'm going to ask you to relax. Okay, so let's go, ThreatLocker. I want to give some love to the Daily Cyber Threat Brief sponsor, ThreatLocker. Do zero-day exploits and supply chain attacks keep you up at night? Well, worry no more. You can harden your security with ThreatLocker. Worldwide, companies like JetBlue trust ThreatLocker to secure their data and keep their business operations flying high. ThreatLocker takes a deny-by-default approach to cybersecurity and provides a full audit of every action allowed or blocked for risk management and compliance. Onboarding and operation is fully supported by their US-based Cyber Heroes support team. Get a free 30-day trial and learn more about how ThreatLocker can help prevent ransomware and ensure compliance. Visit threatlocker.com/dailycyber. Just a quick reminder, it is Tuesday, so we'll be doing Tidbits Tuesday at the Midroll. We can share a little bit about my personal life and see if it's something we vibe on or do not vibe on. And then also, I would be remiss if I didn't do a double shot for anti-siphon training, because tomorrow, my good friend and Simply Cyber community member who's in the chat right now, who many of you know because this guy just rocks, James McQuiggan at 35,000 feet. Looks like maybe anti-siphon ran out of room for his full name. But if you look at his license, it does say James McQuiggan at 35,000 feet. You want to know how to detect malicious remote workers? You want a masterclass in deep fake? You want to hear a dad joke or two? You want to have a good time? Well then, look no further than tomorrow at noon Eastern time at Anti-Siphon Training, because a free workshop's being dropped, and James McQuiggan is the MC of that one. I can't wait, James. Super pumped for you. All right, everybody, do me a favor. Oh, hold on. I forgot. Friggin' CISO. Did you hear my disdain in my voice? CISO series blog post isn't up. Bruh. You're killing me, Smalls. I know. I mean, whatever. I should be more cool about this, but I'm not. Frick it. All right. Well, hey, I guess what? I guess you and I are both like, I never research or prep for the stories. If you didn't know that, I don't research or prep for the stories.
Ain't nobody got time for that.
But at least I have the stories up to make the show flow a little bit better. But every once in a while, like once a quarter, CISO series falls down on their face, and we are there to experience it in all its glory. So do me a favor, sit back, relax, and let's let the cool sounds of the hot news wash over all of us in an awesome wave. I will see you at the Midroll.
From the CISO series, it's cybersecurity headlines.
These are the cybersecurity headlines.
All right, let's see how quick we can do it.
March 10th, 2026. I'm Sarah Lane. Install fix attacks spread fake Claude code sites. Researchers at Push Security uncovered a malvertising campaign dubbed Install Fix that spreads fake Claude code installation pages through Google-sponsored search results. Victims who copy and paste the malicious install command deploy Amatera Stealer malware, which can steal developer credentials and provide access to enterprise development environments. The attack exploits the practice of copying terminal commands from websites, a standard installation method for many developer and AI coding tools.
All right. So there's two things here. And one, I mean, it's a blog post, of course, right? By a company that sells a essentially like not CASB, but it's like a CASB solution push. I will say, like, I have played with Push Security, and I liked it. So for what it's worth, but what are we talking about? There is an attack technique called Install Fix, which is a social engineering attack where threat actors clone the installation page of legitimate CLI tools and then present victims with malicious commands. Okay, so here's the deal, and this is actually a really interesting developing threat. Wait, hold on one second. What did I just click? What is that? Oh, apparently I have that feature now. If you're watching on live, I just put a lower third up. All right, here's the deal. Pop open a shell, run some PowerShell command, or pop open a terminal, run PowerShell. Pop open a command line and curl to this website. Run git install clone or whatever, right? So these kind of commands were usually reserved for IT people, right? If I told Carl in accounting, hey, Carl, how you doing? Like, great job this weekend at the company barbecue. You're great at horseshoes, my man, or you're great at curling if we're up in Minnesota, don't you know? So, by the way, why don't you install this new, friggin' keyboard emoji thing? All you got to do is pop open a shell and run, IEX, some PowerShell command or something like that, right? Like that would never happen. That would never happen. However, in 2026 and with YouTube at the same time, you're getting things like this. This is OpenClaw, which is, in our echo chamber blowing up, right? But look at right here on the front page of OpenClaw, just below the fold drink, is works everywhere, installs everything. You're welcome. Click the copy button, blink, copy. Run this one-liner. You know what I'm saying? If you want to get crazy, NPM, hackable, Mac OS, you have to install Brew, of course. But my point is, this is now becoming much more mainstream, because, again, they're making these pages or these tools essentially accessible to people who don't know what they're doing. Okay, so now Carl in accounting is watching, videos over the weekend on YouTube about X, Y, and Z. Carl hates his job, right? No offense, Carl, but like Carl's watching a video about, oh, make $352 a day with this side hustle. Oh, check out this ghostwriter gig you can get. Super easy. Have OpenClaw do it. It's so easy. Go to OpenClaw and run this one line. Look at me on YouTube doing it. Ugh, right? So you're getting a massive reach for people who don't know what they're doing, popping shells and running these things, okay? That sets the tone for the attack surface, okay? Now what's happening is threat actors, obviously reading the tea leaves, are like, oh, wow, there's a bunch of people who will literally pop a shell and run whatever we ask them to. Then let's create a fake openclaw.ai webpage. We'll just scrape this page. We'll call it OpenClaws, right? Or we'll call it Open White Claw, right? It's the AI agent that likes to get tipsy on the weekend. Everybody in the club get tipsy, right? So now it looks just like this. It looks just like the website in the YouTube video that, Carl watched. And the command is here. Now look at, you and I can read this. IWR-USEB, right? So this is running, like, basically curl out to this website, pull down this PowerShell, and then it pipes it into IEX, which is executed on the command line. Just execute it, right? So essentially you're writing this file to your disk and then executing it. You and I can read this. Carl cannot read this. This just looks like gobbledygook magic, but it works on the YouTube video. All right. So again, I know I'm hammering this point, but my point is, this is a real threat. They're now seeing Claude code campaigns being stood up by threat actors. Look, here's an actual video demonstrating this here live on stream. Hold on one second. Install Claude code. And this is Claude. Don't go to this website, but it's like Claude-developers-com.com, right? Looks just like Anthropic's Claude page. And in reality, it's malicious. You're going to install malware on yourself. They're also pairing it with Google Ads. Again, you can't really see it very well, but essentially when you type in Claude code, you're getting malicious results. Not all of them are malicious, but you can get malicious results if the threat actors pay enough, right? Here we go. Developers.squarespace.com. Install Claude code. Claude code install. Here's another one, right? First result. So what's the payload look like? I mean, it doesn't even matter, honestly. Like, we can look at the payloads, but it doesn't matter. And remember, it doesn't matter because the payload, it doesn't matter if it's an info stealer, a ransomware, a pop-up scareware, spyware, creepware, ransomware, malware. It doesn't matter. It literally doesn't matter. You're running a payload on the box. The point is, don't get in front of that, right? Because they can swap the payloads out. So, like, sure, we can look at what it's doing, but to me, it doesn't matter because tomorrow, next week, next month, they can change the payloads. The attack vector won't change, right? So TLDR, educate your end users if you can. If you can get access to some of these like real-time threat intelligence DNS blocker feeds, like I think FireEye has one called Wildfire, or Palo Alto has one called Wildfire. I can't remember who runs Wildfire, but basically there are capabilities out there where you can ingest known malicious websites and update your firewall or your DNS resolution in real time to sinkhole those things. So then when a victim in your organization Google's Claude code because they're about to set up their side hustle and they click on the malicious landing page, it won't resolve. All right. Hopefully that helps everybody. I hope that helps everybody. I feel like this is a real problem. It really is. It's a perfect nexus of tons of people who don't know what they're doing, just following friggin' tutorials on YouTube, blindly executing code. It can even be worse than that, though, man, for real. Because, like, you can give up API keys, you can give up session tokens, you can install malware, you can compromise your entire infrastructure, right? If you have someone on your internal network that gets their endpoint compromised, threat actors now are inside the house, right?
4899 breaches crypto firm via Trojanized file.
All right, hold on.
UNC 4899, a North Korean threat actor, is suspected of stealing millions from an unnamed cryptocurrency firm in 2025 by compromising a developer's personal device. The attacker reportedly delivered a Trojanized file via airdrop, which the developer then moved to their corporate workstation. The malicious Python code executed a binary masquerading as a Kubernetes CLI tool, providing access to the cloud environment. UNC 4899 used living off the cloud techniques to escalate privileges, move laterally, extract database credentials, modify user accounts, and ultimately withdraw millions.
All right. Well, I can't... I don't know what story this is because North Korea does crypto attacks all the time and they're using developer attacks. So I just typed in a keyword to see if I could find something that came up to capture my inner monologue on dealing with this. Let me just check and see if they've updated the blog yet because I'm beginning to get unruly. Oh, there we go. Thanks, guys. All right. Here we go. All right. Developer airdrop Trojanized file to work device. Okay, so they got the developer to put a malicious file on his, I would assume, Apple device. And it resulted in stealing millions of dollars. Okay, that sounds like quite the Rube Goldberg machine to get some money here. Let's see how this works. All right, so threat actors use social engineering to get the developer to download an archive file as part of an open source project. And then they transferred it to the company over airdrop. Okay. So first of all, really quickly, I want everyone to know, just because the developer transferred the file to a company device, that doesn't mean the company device was infected. Dude, I could have downloaded and I could download every piece of malware ever written and put it on my NAS under my desk right here, and I'm not infected. It's just static files. You have to execute it. You have to put it in memory and let it run, baby. Give it some processor cycles, right? Like, Just because you airdrop it doesn't mean anything. Of course, the next step here, use the AI assisted IDE. They then interacted with it, the contents, and then executed the malicious payload. You see this keyword right here, executing. That's when bad happens, right? Again, not to be like exactly one-to-one, but like if I walk into an armory and every gun's fully loaded, guess what? No one's getting shot. That doesn't happen. It's only when you start interacting with the weapons that things can happen, right? All right. So as soon as this guy launches a Kubernetes CLI tool, it reaches out to C2 domain, and oh, here we go. Hold on. All right, here we go. So they targeted a dev. They piggybacked on cloud, victim host access and creds to the environment. Okay, so two things. One, basically this was a very targeted attack. Like this basically could have been like an opening music montage attack sequence from like a Mission Impossible movie. Really quickly. Oh, we got some first timers up in here. Mangwa Fresh, welcome to the party. Thanks, Steve Young.
Welcome to the party, pal.
All right, so here's the deal. This is absolutely a hyper targeted attack, which North Korea is very good at, and also like not guaranteed to have worked. So threat actor finds a developer for a crypto firm and somehow convinces them to install some type of Kubernetes CLI tool. Now, right away, that developer had to have had some Kubernetes needs, right? Like no one's like, oh, like I know we're not using Kubernetes here at work, but I'm just going to download this tool and see if I can run microservices in our environment. No. Like they definitely were doing that. Now, the thing is, getting the developer to transfer it to a work machine, they needed the developer to do that. I will say, chances are, like, this was, I don't want to say guaranteed, but I would argue, and stay with me on this one, I would argue that the step where they transferred it to the work machine wasn't necessary. The developer just needed to access if the developer had run the malware on their own machine, threat actor would have owned their own machine. And then if developer remoted into the corporate infrastructure with their own machine, it would have been the same result. Obviously, this company, great job, GRC people at this company, they only allow certain machines, approved machines, allow only machines, or security posture checking machines, company assets basically, to access the cloud infrastructure. So the developer wanting to use this tool moved it over to their machine. That right there, by the way, violates, I guarantee you, a policy at this company. If this company is doing posture checking on machines accessing their cloud infrastructure, I would imagine that they are also approving software to be used on machines. Furthermore, I don't know if ThreatLocker would have stopped this or not, but this is an exact example of like what ThreatLocker would do, right? Like that's an example where like a piece of random code is going to run on a corporate asset that's weird and unseen before. It would be stopped, right? That's the shtick with ThreatLocker. All right, so once they get in, they get into the environment, and now, I mean, obviously, I'm not a Kubernetes expert in any capacity, right? I know enough to be dangerous. I'm not an expert. But what Kubernetes allows you to do is stand up like microservices, scale up, scale down, kind of the promise of cloud. But Kubernetes allows you to kind of manage these like little instances of microservices to do things, like whatever the thing is, whether it's write to a database or provide a front end application or do some processing on data, whatever the thing is, those microservices work. And that's what Kubernetes kind of orchestrates. When your Kubernetes gets compromised, it's like basically the guy or the lady at the panel at nuclear facilities where they have like 1,000 buttons, right? It's like the bad guy gets to sit in that chair. Okay. Kubernetes is almost like, again, someone correct me in chat if I'm wrong, but like Kubernetes kind of feels analogous. Analogous? What the hell is that word? What is that word? Hold on. Analogous. Can I get a analogous? Yes, I knew that word. Okay, listen. There's an analogous element. Where's the story? To Kubernetes is analogous to hypervisors. Okay? It's like that. Like a hypervisor can see all the VMs. Kubernetes can see all the, microservices underneath it, okay? Once you get access to that, they get the critical creds, and now, it's game over, right? Once they get the critical creds, they just start moving money out of the platform, okay? Final thing I want to say this, and for those whose brain I hurt by saying analogous 20 times, I'm sorry. Hey, listen. This term living off the cloud, I haven't heard that before. Living off the land is the strategy of using native binaries, like the Windows native binaries, like every Windows operating system comes with this, NTDLL and, cmd.exe, right? Like all these binaries. I've never heard of living off the cloud. I'm sure it's very similar. In fact, it annoys me that they would even come up with a new term. It's still living off the land. The land is just the cloud. We don't call it living off the endpoint. So what are we doing here? All right, anyways, be aware of this. This is good stuff.
UK launches cyber fraud crackdown unit. The UK government is launching the Online Crime Centre in April to disrupt cyber fraud operations as part of a broader anti-fraud strategy. The unit will coordinate law enforcement, intelligence agencies, banks, telecom providers, and tech companies to shut down scam infrastructure such as fraudulent accounts, websites, and phone numbers. Cyber-enabled fraud costs the UK around £14 billion annually, and officials say the effort will also use AI tools to detect suspicious transactions and deploy scam-baiting chatbots to gather intelligence on criminals. U.S.
People are really enjoying this. Living off the LLM, probably real. Phil Stafford. Jost X, living off the parents. That's so funny. Living off Chips Ahoy cookies. Oh my God. Hey, and to those who are having, you're almost like need a reboot after me saying analogous too many times. I feel you. Okay. You know what I'll tell you about me saying it?
You are so dumb. You are really dumb. For real.
I will own that. Okay, guys. I got to tell you, it's a day that ends in Y, and the UK is coming off the top rope. It's the British bulldog of news stories. Dude, the UK is out of control in like a very good way. They're like launching obviously massive surveillance, but they're doing like digital identities. They stood up like a NSA equivalent out there. They are dropping elbows on, threat actors. And now coming off the top rope or coming from the locker room, running like the ultimate warrior, the UK comes hard into the paint with their new crackdown unit tackling cyber fraud at the source.
Regulators, mount up.
All right, so I love this, man. Set to begin work in April. Can I get tickets to this event? Like in the most nerdy way possible. I want front row seats to this online crime center. Disrupting cyber criminal ops, including overseas scam compounds. Like, dude, the UK would be awesome if they stood up a YouTube channel, like a Scam Baiter UK channel. It would go gangbusters, right? They could probably fund their own operation. They're going to identify the accounts, websites, and phone numbers cyber criminal gangs are using. All right. So this is a massive multi-billion-dollar fraud industry, and the UK is taking it on. Now, what does this mean for you and I? Nothing directly, but if a UK crackdown unit, not crack unit, oh my God, Tyrone's Billingsley's like, yeah, I'm moving to the UK. Listen, if this unit does their job well, you and I succeed because a, Vietnam call center or an Indian-based call center, or Cambodian romance scam center, if they take it out, those scam call centers are not calling my good friend from college's parents who got taken for 15 grand last year. They're not calling my aunt Dorothea and getting frustrated that she doesn't own a computer. They're not calling anyone or taking any phone calls about how your printer's broken. They're going to help you fix it. But first, you got to install this $800 antivirus solution. You know what I'm saying? So like, dude, shout out to the UK. Like, if I could donate to this, I would. And like I said, if I could watch their YouTube videos, I would. Now, again, I don't know exactly how they're going to do this because the UK doesn't have jurisdiction in Cambodia last time I checked. So if these centers are working out of countries that don't have extradition, if the UK is unable to get local law enforcement buy-in or cooperation, it could be problematic, right? So this isn't as simple as like you're doing bad, so like the UK can just be the Batman world police and go do whatever they want. It is easy to find these things for sure, especially if people can submit like, oh, hey, like my grandfather or my sister just fell for a scam. Here's the phone number they called. Here's the website they went to, et cetera, et cetera. Not to mention, like I said, there's not a million, but there are a significant number of YouTubers like Scammer Payback and a couple other popular ones that probably have a laundry list that they could collaborate with the UK on.
Unveils new cyber strategy. The U.S. administration released a national cybersecurity strategy outlining 6 policy pillars focused on strengthening U.S. digital defenses and countering foreign cyber threats. The plan emphasizes proactive measures, including offensive cyber operations, closer public-private partnerships, and investments in emerging technologies like AI and quantum computing. Other priorities include securing federal networks, protecting critical infrastructure and supply chains, streamlining regulations, and expanding the cybersecurity workforce.
All right. So hold on, let me back that up because I was being petty in mod chat.
Like AI and quantum computing. Other priorities include securing federal networks, protecting critical infrastructure and supply chains, streamlining regulations, and expanding the cybersecurity workforce.
Okay, so I've been around for a very long time. As you know, I do moisturize, which belies my catcher's mitt of a face. But let me tell you, as someone who's been around for a minute, and I know that there's a ton of people in chat who have been around too and will agree with me. But listen, if you didn't know this, let me be the first to tell you, okay? New cyber strategy. And by the way, we're apolitical here, all right? I'm not going to weigh in on Trump, and move the listen. Although I do have my own beliefs, which I think people are well aware of what I'm into and what I'm not into, but that aside, Trump's administration unveils new cyber strategy for America. Okay, check it out. The last few things they said, skilling up the workforce, protecting critical infrastructure, securing federal networks. My guy, I'm not even going to bother and bore you guys with this, but like you can go back. President Obama, he's the one who defined critical infrastructure and put it on the map so we can protect those things. Go look at Executive Order 16363. All right. Hold on. Let me confirm that. There's a lot of 6s and 3s on it. Let me see. Executive Order 16363. Yes, I'm not an idiot. Okay. February 12th, 2013, improving critical cybersecurity infrastructure. All right. So, and I can do that for all of these. Securing federal networks. President Biden, for better or worse, came out with a memo like in 2022, I think. Or no. When the heck was it? Yeah, 22, I think. Of like, all federal networks have to be zero trust architecture and have multi-factor in like 90 days or something stupid, right? It was like a ridiculous ask. But my point is, when you're coming at me with, where's the story, bruh? Oh my God, so many tabs. Listen, when you're coming at me with new cyber strategy for America, don't get lost in the noise. A lot of this is not new. A lot of this is just rehash and continuing to do the same thing because we're not good at doing the same thing, right? So we got to get the foundations. Now, the one thing that they did mention that's kind of baked in there, and I would like to make you aware of, is number one, they talked about proactive security, right? So basically empowering private sector businesses to get after it. That could lead to problems, nationally speaking. For you at work today, this isn't going to do anything for you. You're not like, holy crap. Yesterday I was doing something, but hey, the new cyber strategy is out from Trump administration, so I'm going to pivot. You're not doing that anything different at work today. The second thing besides the proactive private sector bit is the deregulation around AI, which is a common Republican policy of deregulating and freeing up markets and stuff like that. So I'm not going to hold like, oh, that's a Trump thing. So anyways, for my money, I'm interested to see where this private sector, basically arming private citizens. Okay, you know what this is basically like? And then I'll just go to the mid-roll. This is like giving everybody in town like a deputy badge. That's what it is. It's the Wild West. And instead of like, Doc Holliday and, Wyatt Earp walking around protecting all of us, if you want, you get a deputy badge. Bink. And now you're, part of it. So we'll see how this goes. Again, these strategies, like, I don't know. We'll see how it goes.
Huge thanks to our sponsor, DropZone AI. So it's 3 a.m. New threat intelligence drops. An attack pattern targeting your industry. Your threat hunting team is 4 people, all on day shifts, and already behind on last week's hunts. By the time somebody gets to it, the window for early detection has closed. The attacker is already inside. Tomorrow, we'll tell you what DropZone AI is bringing to RSAC to solve exactly this problem. If you don't want to wait, head to dropzone.ai/RSA-2026-AI-Diner.
Hey, what's up, everybody? Thank you so much for being here. I got to tell you, only having 3 sponsors in the month kind of frees up that mid-roll. If you've been watching on replay, I go after and cut the Simple Minds out. Guys, I want to say thank you to the stream sponsors. I genuinely mean this. This is not, I don't know if a lot of people just sign up and do whatever with whoever, but like for me, it matters, right? So Threat Locker, Zero Trust World, I talked to a lot of people who use their solution. They like it. I'm happy. Like, I really enjoyed it. Anti-Siphon Training, Black Hills. I've been friends with those guys for years. I won the... if you didn't know this, in 2023, I believe, I won the first ever Rita Award. Okay, this is an award they give to one person a year. For community service, basically making an impact. I won that award, right? Like, I love what they're doing. I just happen to have that accessible because I'm cleaning back here. And then Flare. Again, I think Flare's solution is phenomenal, and I really like the people at Flare. So anyways, very, very blessed to have sponsors that are awesome and support what we're doing over here. All right, every single day of the week has a special segment. And Tuesdays is Tidbits Tuesday. I feel like I may have given everybody this Tidbits Tuesday already, but let me holler at you for a second. I'm big on audiobooks now. So, like, I guess the question is, oh, don't even get me started, Roswell UK. That graphic file is not on that computer. I've deleted the file. Like, I need to, like, wipe this machine to get rid of this. Okay, anyways, I don't know if you guys read or listen to audiobooks. I am on book 7 now of the Wheel of Time series. I know the Amazon show existed. I didn't like the Amazon show. In fact, it kind of ruined it for me because now when I hear the characters, I think of the actors, which I did not like also. But yeah, Wheel of Time, if you're looking for like an epic high fantasy, oh my God, bro, what is up with you? I'm not going to click a button to continue. Anyways, Wheel of Time, wonderful books, wonderful series. If you haven't checked it out, hey, Dream Logic, definitely worth checking out. This is my second time through it. Incredible magic system, incredible cultures and world building. If you're into that, if you're into nonfiction only, it's not going to be for you. But I will tell you, I've been listening to the audiobooks, and it's just been very nice. So anyways, that's a little fun one. I didn't really have anything else. Final thing I will say is the weather's getting better here in the low country. I got to grill out yesterday and not wear a winter jacket while grilling. Gotta love that. All right, do me a favor, everyone. Marcus, Kyler, Alpha Sierra are our drum majors. If you can, get ready to lead us off. Everybody else, just feel it. Let it wash over you in an awesome wave. I didn't mention Magic the Gathering. Nobody mentioned that. All right, let's get our la la la's on. All right, cool. And hey, Josiah, I hear you on burning out on book 6 or 7. There is a little bit of a lull there, but I'm telling you, if you can power through it, the last couple books, especially the second to last book, is like insane. All right, let's finish strong, everybody.
FBI warns of phishers impersonating U.S. officials. The FBI is warning about phishing attacks where criminals impersonate city and county planning officials to target people and businesses applying for land use permits. Victims receive emails referencing real permit details and then are instructed to pay fake fees via wire transfer, peer-to-peer payments, or cryptocurrency. The FBI advises verifying official domains and contacting local governments directly before making any payments and reporting incidents to the Internet Crime Complaint Center. Darktrace.
All right. Okay, so two things. One, this is very actionable. Specifically want to call out small, mid-sized business. If you are a practitioner, okay, and you have access to the CFO, right? So like if you're a multi-billion-dollar company, chances are like, and I don't mean this disrespectfully, just in my own experience, like the CFO is not accessible to you. Like maybe you are in the elevator with the CFO at the same time, but for the most part, you're not getting the CFO's time. If you work at a small mid-sized business, right? So I worked at a business that was like 750 million annual revenue. And I had direct access to the CFO. Guy was busy, right? So you're not like, hey, can we talk about pickleball? But like, if you have something that's important, they want to know. And trust me, CFOs are all about the Benjamins, right?
Straight cash, homie.
They want to know these things. This is a great opportunity. Basically, threat actors are impersonating state, local people and saying, hey, like you gotta renew your business license, or there's a fine, a fee, whatever it is, $400, $600, an amount of money that a CFO or some type of finance person is just going to pencil whip. But small, mid-sized businesses are likely to not have the checks in place and the requirements of the hurdles to go through to be able to make these payments and fall victim to this. So what I would say is take this as an opportunity to go to your CFO if you do meet the qualifications I'm throwing out there, like small, mid-sized business, and say, hey, listen, I just want to let you know that criminals are doing this. Essentially, you can give them an example of a malicious message around, something to do with permits, something to do with fees, and just say, hey, listen, The threat actors are going, if they want you to pay in crypto, wire transfer, or I forget what the other one was. There was like another one that was not like an obvious one. Oh, peer-to-peer payment, like Venmo me. Just be aware that, this is likely fraud. In fact, my GRC brain just activated. I would argue that you even consider having a policy that unless there's an exception, right? Because if you get ransomware, maybe you do need to use crypto. But like as a policy, pending exception, payments out of your business are not authorized via crypto or peer-to-peer payments. I don't know. I mean, every business has to have their own policies. You can't just use templated blanket policy because, it matters for the organization. Wire transfer, that's not going to be too good because wire transfers happen all the time. But to me, I would, let them know about this. Okay. Dude, an ounce of prevention. And one other thing I want to share with you too is like these businesses, this is effectively like a form of business email compromise. Okay. It's not the traditional version, but it's a form of it. I have worked at businesses where they hired me to come in and build an information security program from scratch. And one of the first, maybe like the first 3 days, I had a meeting with the CFO to understand how, operations work from the finance office. And I was like, oh, you should be aware of business email compromise. Here's what it is. He's like, oh, I'll stop you right there. He's like, I know what it is. Like we fell for it twice last year. I paid $68,000 and $73,000 in both instances, and just like went about his business. And I'm like, Jesus, dude, that's like my salary or like more than my salary. And you're just so flippant about it. Why don't we like get this under control? So it's very personal. A lot of these businesses have suffered these attacks and just keep on rolling and aren't reporting it. So just be aware, like this is a great opportunity to build those relationships with the CFO office by delivering value to them.
Names third chief in 18 months. The Financial Times sources say Darktrace has appointed Ed Jennings as its third permanent CEO in 18 months, following Jill Popelka's 16-month tenure and interim CEO Charles Goodman. The UK cybersecurity firm is owned by Thoma Bravo and plans to invest over $200 million in the US in 2026 to grow US sales to half of total revenue and compete with Palo Alto Networks and CrowdStrike. Jennings' US-based experience at QuickBase and Mimecast is expected to help drive that growth.
Great.
Ransomware hits ElecQ. Customer data stolen. Chinese EV charger maker.
Really quick, this is why is this story here? Okay, if anything, I would just say Darktrace was like one of these unicorn darlings. They have like an AI before AI was cool EDR thing, and they have 3 chiefs in 18 months. That's not a good look. Like that is instability. Okay, this means nothing to any of us. I mean, maybe, I don't know, like as an investor, I guess. I don't know why this story is here. I don't understand the selection process over there.
ElecQ suffered a ransomware attack on its AWS cloud systems on March 7th, which encrypted and copied customer data. Exposed information includes names, emails, phone numbers, and home addresses, but no financial data or charger functionality was affected. The company took servers offline, restored systems from backups, and tightened remote access. Regulators in the UK and Germany have been notified, and customers are advised to monitor accounts and reset passwords.
Okay. So, I mean, a company hosted in AWS gets got, okay? So threat actor encrypted and copied user data. The old double extortion technique. Sounds like this might be one of the olds. As like exfil is like kind of the hotness right now.
That Hansel's so hot right now.
Like a lot of threat actors aren't encrypting your data anymore. They're just doing data exfil because it's faster, easier, and a lot of organizations are going to have the backup. So it's like there's no reason in kind of tipping their hand. Although these people did it, right? So Chinese outfit that builds EV charging gear. Okay. Your name, your email, your phone number, your home address, compromised. No financial data, but just, where you live, what your name is. Okay. I love this. The company says it kicked off IR processes as soon as the suspicious activity was spotted. Your servers were being encrypted. Like, it doesn't get much, much more suspicious than that. And you can see here, they already started restoration. So business continuity and backups are always good to go. All right. They brought in a third-party cyber to carry out forensics investigation. So that's another common thing. Just, hey, so let me give you value. By the way, I love giving value. That's my whole shtick. Say you're an analyst or, a one-person shop, right? Say you're ad tech, right? Using ad tech as our team solo person, right? If you suffer a cyber attack at your organization, you're not expected to be like all of a sudden a digital forensics expert going deep into the incident to figure out, it's very common to have, number one, an insurance policy. Number two, that insurance company almost always has a retainer in place with some third-party digital forensics firm, and they get brought in. Again, it's partly for liability reasons. It's partly for plausible deniability reasons. There's a lot of like shenanigans and politics involved with having a third party come in instead of just hiring someone to do it. Even if Team Solo Ad Tech had all the skills in the world to do the digital forensics deep dive investigation, a law firm is still going to want an external party to do it. Okay. So anyways, just be aware, if, like, I guess as a preparation, if right now, if you suffered ask yourself this: if you suffered an incident today, like a really massive, like, oh my God, I'm glad I wore my brown pants to work today kind of incident, what would happen? Like, do you have a law firm? Do you have an insurance provider? Do you know the third party people? Do you know what criteria would be required to qualify, going from like, just reimage the machine to, all right, let's pull the plug, or let's call the insurance provider and get them involved? Because like, once you involve lawyers and insurance, it really turns into quite the big ball of Christmas lights that are all knotted up. So obviously you have to have some type of decision tree to decide when to execute on that.
Red Actor uses Elastic Cloud for stolen data. Researchers at Huntress uncovered a campaign where attackers exploited multiple enterprise software vulnerabilities, including SolarWinds Web Help Desk, to steal system data and store it in a free trial Elastic Cloud SIEM instance. The threat actor used encoded PowerShell scripts to collect host, Active Directory, and patch data, then managed it via the SIEM's Kibana interface, affecting at least 216 hosts across 34 domains. Victims spanned government, education, finance, manufacturing, and IT sectors. Elastic and law enforcement coordinated to take down the cloud instance and notify affected orgs.
Okay, hold on. This is complicated. So, if you didn't know, okay, Elastic Cloud, which is like, they don't like it when you say the term elk, but that's like what a lot of olds call it, is the elk stack. So this is the Elastic Cloud SIEM. It's kind of like, you can do it without Security Onion, but a Security Onion instance will have this stack built on it. And the Kibana is kind of like the query engine interface for it. Now, they do offer free trials. And remember, obviously, I assume a lot of information, but a SIEM is a security information and event management platform. Essentially, you just push all the logs and telemetry and network traffic, like as much as you want, that you can handle, into a SIEM, and it allows a aggregation, correlation, And it allows you to query into your environment to see what's going on because all the logs are correlated with timestamps and stuff. You're able to pivot around and move and see what's going on. And you can even see a compromise and then follow it laterally, figure out what happened, see if other endpoints in your environment fell victim to the same payloads and stuff. Okay, so SIMs are basically the right and left hand of any security operations center. Now, a threat actor weaponized it, which is crazy, right? So Huntress found this. Shout out to John Hammond over at Huntress and Matt Kiley, who work there. I don't know if they were involved with this story, but let's see. Instead of using C2, the attacker exfilled victim data into an Elastic Cloud instance and turned security monitoring into a repo. Oh my God. Okay. So the attacker deployed an encoded PowerShell command on compromised systems that gathered detailed information. And then, hold on 1 second. I don't even understand. Like, I mean, this is super complicated, but basically what they did was they essentially used the SIM as like the C2 panel effectively, right? So they compromised a bunch of machines and then they had the machines send their data to the SIM, which is a centralized data management repo tool effectively, and it allowed them to look at all the systems. Essentially, they used the SIM to organize and review their data. Pretty clever. I know for a fact, without knowing any more about the story, Elastic Cloud is definitely not super into this, and obviously it's kind of an ill look for them that they were compromised this way. Now it says vulnerability somewhere in here. Threat actor exploits flaws. There's no flaw in the Elastic Cloud instance. Okay. The Kibana instance was not vulnerable. They didn't weaponize it that way. They basically just used the tool the way it's designed. The endpoints got compromised and we're sending their data to it, right? So, I mean, if you were doing security at any of these victim organizations and you see data going to an Elastic Cloud instance and you're not running that SIM, obviously that would be concerning. Shout out to Huntress for finding this one. Shout out to the threat actors. Again, I don't condone or promote cyber criminal behavior, but I do want you to know that I do respect and recognize innovation. And when they do stuff like this, like hat tip, you know what I mean? Like,
Well done. Well done. Okay.
again, I wish they didn't do it, but I'm not going to be so ignorant to say it's dumb. All right. So there we go. All right, y'all. We made it. We made it to the end. Guys, holla at ya. Shout out to all of you. Again, thank you to the sponsors, ThreatLocker, Anti-Siphon, and Flare. Guys, it was Tuesday, March 10th, 2026, episode 1085. You guys crushed it. I want to thank you all for being here. Again, it takes a village. I see you guys in chat, Bruce and Hacks, Roswell UK, TJ, Dream Logic, so many of you, mod chat. I see BSEC and Casually Joseph. Eric Taylor's in the mod chat there, sharing tips, tricks, and kind of making the show run, right? You guys are the grease that make the machine run. So thank you very much. I genuinely appreciate it. I'm Jerry from Simply Cyber. Don't go anywhere because we are going to be doing Jawjacking. Jawjacking is it's a service that we do here at Simply Cyber for the community. It's a 30-minute-ish, 25-minute today. Ask me anything. We have rotating guest hosts. We're going to be adding more rotating guest hosts. I'm in talks with some folks and figuring out something. So stay tuned for that. We're going to get an entire stable of hosts to do Jawjacking that'll rotate in and out across the weeks. Very exciting, bringing you guys different perspectives, different disciplines within industry to help you level up and be the best you can be. So don't go anywhere. I'll handle the transition. I'll be back tomorrow at hold on. I will be back later today. My. Check this out. 1 p.m. today. I forgot to tell everybody this. 1 p.m. today, we're running a 1-hour workshop, AWS Privilege Escalation Attack and Defenses. If you are at all responsible for defending or attacking AWS cloud infrastructure, this is a must attend. Christophe Lampolaire has done this professionally. The guy is a stud as far as education goes. Come on, hang out. I'll be there, hosting Christophe and like helping you guys get the most value from the stream. So let me drop that link here. AWS Workshop. There you go. 1 p.m. Eastern time. And I'm sorry for those international folks. That's the middle of the night. I understand it can be difficult. It will be available on replay. Now, for real, I'm out of here. Until next time, stay secure. Ever wonder what it takes to break into cybersecurity? Join us every weekday for Jawjacking, where industry experts answer your burning questions about the cybersecurity field. Live, unfiltered, and totally free. Let's level up together. It's time for some Jawjacking.
Good morning, good afternoon, good evening. Welcome to Jawjacking Tuesday edition. Thank you all so much for tuning in. My name is Eric Taylor. I am here to answer some of your questions that you may have. If you're new here, don't be shy. Put a Q colon mark in the chat so that way I can quickly find your question and be able to answer them. See a lot of people leaving out and heading off to, all right, 10-4. See some people heading out. Y'all have a wonderful, wonderful day. Wish you could have stuck around, but I understand work does call. Very good. And James McQuiggan with the Dolphins. I do have something that I want to talk about. Well, let's do the Dolphin because we're getting prompted for several people. All right, so this one is going to get interesting. Okay, well, let me actually take that down. My apologies. I don't know how to address this one gently. But if you've got little ones, especially daughters, let's talk about this, okay? So here in our backyard, me and Dr. Gerald Auger's backyard, there has been 5 high school girls victimized by AI-generated images, right? Now, granted, this is still an ongoing investigation. Apparently, 2 boys are suspected to be behind the situation. This is something that is still early in development because there's minors. There's not a lot of details coming out. And to be honest with you, I did not see this even on my radar. Like when you look out, like what are the possible threats coming out in the next 3 years? I'm like, for some reason, my tinfoil hat never saw this as a possibility. And I spent the last day trying to figure out, okay, I have a daughter. Yeah, I'm trying to protect her. I got grandbabies. I'm trying to make sure they're protected, things of that nature. How do you protect your children from something like this? Sure. I mean, I don't know how you can, to be completely honest with you, with things like, Banana and Grok and, all these other ones that are able to do image manipulation really easily. Like, even if you went uber extreme and said, you're off of social media, you can't post your images. Then I was like, oh, what about a yearbook image? A lot of times your picture is captured when you're at school events. The schools are sending out newsletters. Oh, look at this baseball game that was just happened and all the people there. I don't know how you can get your kids off of that. Yes, it can also happen with boys. Absolutely. Right. I would say my personal opinion on this is I would suspect women are a lot more susceptible to this than men are. Will it happen to men? Absolutely. But if I was to put a ratio, probably a 2-to-1, 3-to-1. Again, my personal thoughts. Metrics would have to be determined on that, right? I don't know if there is a way to legitimately protect your kids. So, this is going to be something, if you have kids and you're thinking about having kids or you got grandkids, sitting down and talking and figuring out like this is inevitable to potentially happen. Right? So how do you address it when it happens is really the only thing we can do. And I'm still trying to figure that out myself. Right? Short of taking someone out back and beating them up a little bit, but you can't really do that with minors, right? It's definitely an interesting time, especially when you're trying to protect your little ones. All right, so I did see a couple cues coming in here, but definitely let me know what you think about what I think on that one, right? It's literally a burning question that I am trying to figure out, right? And I don't have a good answer. I don't have a right answer in that particular situation. So, as Jerry said, we are a collective, almost like the Borg from Star Trek. If y'all have ever watched that, let's let our hive mind work together and figure out. I don't think there's a way to prevent it from happening. However, what do you do when it does happen? How can we combat it? That's what I really want to know. So let me know what you think about what I think. All right. What's new with a ransom ISAC? Nothing. We're still working in the background. I've been talking with the creator a lot lately in Signal. There's a lot of stuff coming out. There's some memberships coming out. The individual who wants to remain nameless for security and privacy reasons. There's a lot of stuff on the horizon. So it'll be interesting to see. We'll still be helping them out with some reports. There's another one coming out with another user's putting together a EDR killer report out. So definitely stay tuned with those. But that ISAC is definitely growing, right? I just got my Lockstar award from them for the EDR killer that I put out. So it's pretty cool. Question from Mariah Green. Are OGEC certs worth getting if you're looking to get into GRC? Mariah Green, I'm not a GRC person. I'm honestly not. That's not my forte. But please save your question. In fact, what I'll try to do, and if Jerry remembers it, then you may honestly have to mention it again tomorrow, because Jerry's a very busy person. But I just copied and pasted it over to mod chat. I'll ping Jerry on it. And if he can remember, then he'll try to bring it up. If not, again, do ask the question at tomorrow's Jawjacking. Because I don't want to give you bad advice. And it's not my forte. Right? But hypothetically, you know what? Let's take a stab at it. Because I don't know what it is, and we only got a couple questions, so I can't spend a moment on this. Let's look at this together, ladies and gentlemen. What do you say? So let's go over to the Googles. What is OCEG cert? I mean, right away, GRC certification suite, GRC professional. Let me blow this up so everybody can read. Our industry recognized credentials on the open compliance and ethics. Okay. Yeah, again, on the surface, this looks like a very credible certificate. Yeah. The only thing I don't know, in full transparency, like I said, I'm not a huge GRC person. I don't, but does the certificate, is it well received? Is it well valued in the industry? That I don't know. Like EC Council's, certified ethical hacker, is that well received? I don't know if it is, right? Anymore, so definitely talk to Jerry about that. See what he thinks about it and get a better idea. But on the surface, it looks like a very credible certification that you should consider. And maybe people in the chat has already answered this, maybe because there are a lot of GRC people in chat that could be able to also weigh in on this one. All right, question from Papa Bear. Which private sector field in cybersecurity do you think offers the most work-life balance? That is... That is a really good question. Off the cuff, this may require more thought, but off the cuff, I'm going to say potentially a GRC analyst. Or not GRC, a CTI or a SOC analyst. Probably a SOC analyst, because most of the time, if you're a SOC analyst, you're working with an organization that has many SOC analysts for a 24-hour, 7-day-a-week, 365 rotation. So I would say potentially a SOC analyst would be that position. However, one caveat to note, if you're working for a smaller firm like Barricade or anybody else that is smaller, I would say that I don't know if there's going to be much work-life balance because we don't have the staff to properly segment a full work-life balance scenario, right? So working for a larger organization will definitely give you a lot of that work-life balance that you're looking for. So again, off the cuff, that's my thoughts. Taiwan Gang, how can I be a master hacker like you? Taiwan Gang, you have a misconception about me, good person. I am no way, shape, or form a master hacker by any means. I get really lucky a lot, but I don't do a whole lot of hacking as much anymore. Again, so my workflow, those who don't know, I do digital forensics and incident response. We're DIFR or DFIR, depending on who you talk to. So our job is to hunt evil. Now, a lot of times when a CVE is posted, yes, we are trying to replay that CVE. We're trying to figure out, how does it exploit? What are the signatures for it? Things of that nature. I had a lot of success as of a couple of years ago getting on Team Viewers, Hall of Fame, and just doing a lot of cool stuff. But I would never, ever classify myself as a master hacker by any stretch of the imagination. There are a lot of people who are a lot smarter than I am. And even in my own space in DFIR, I am no master at my tradecraft. Am I an expert? Sure. I know a lot of information, but I am no master. I am always freaking learning something. And there's always things that, one thing I always tout, or I always try to make sure I emphasize on these jawjacking sessions, and when I'm talking to people, is how do you always make sure that you are learning? And it's really going back through the same courses that you've done. Let's say hypothetically you went through CEH. I think it's still mostly self-paced. I don't know if there's any online course, but let's just say hypothetically, it's an online course. Oh, we'll take Black Hills. The perfect example. Okay. You may have John Strand teaching a course. I think he does the introduction to SOC analysts or something like that. He does several of them, right? So you get John Strand's perspective on some things. The one thing I found that I really enjoy is taking that class again next year, because I try to take it every couple years in any of the certifications that I have. But I always make sure I get a different instructor, because sometimes they teach it in a different way. Sometimes a lot, you notice when you go through any of the courses, through any of the trainings, sometimes they get to talking about real world experiences and stuff like that. And learning their perception and how they see stuff will put off a light bulb in your head. Like, oh, I never thought of thinking of X, Y, and or Z in that fashion. And it opens up a whole new world of intrigue for you and being able to really go down that whole thing, right? So definitely do that is my personal recommendation. But again, please don't confuse me with a master of anything. I appreciate the vote of confidence. James. Dude, James, if I could show you my calendar, like literally the hiring process. So, we've got a hiring process. We're going through a hiring process to try to get a Falcon administrator in. I had like 48 hours on LinkedIn, over 7,000 people applied. I am still working through that. My calendar is back to back. Like, I'm going to be ending this stream here in a few minutes. I'm prepping for 4 interviews today, plus all my other work. So I'm not ignoring you, James. I promise you that. But you'll see the stream that my camera, it kind of fades in and out a little bit. But yeah, you are on my radar to get something scheduled. It's just trying to find the time. And while I've been on here, I've already had 2 calls from 2 different legal folks looking for updates. So it's a very busy time for me. All right, we are coming up to the bottom of the half hour. So if there's any last minute, yeah, but I love it. James McQuiggan, he's calling me out. I know it, but I love it. Oh, here's a question that for some reason I overlooked. Oh, it just came in. Okay. What starting point would you recommend someone who wants to be a hacker? I would say go to Bug Bounty. Does CBT Nuggets still have? I don't even know if CBT or whatever Nuggets is still a thing. Give me a second. I'm on my other screen. I know I'm that. Was it CBT? Yeah, Nuggets. Hacker course. Okay. So here, I'll switch screens here. So yeah, White Hat, CBT Nuggets, online training. I know Black Hills. Just trying to make sure I'm always mentioning multiple people. But CBT Nuggets looks like they have something. It's old, from 2018. But they do have a course, and it's not bad. It's $59. I know another one you should definitely look at if you're not, Tyler Ransby, right? Look at his stuff. He's talking about it all the time. Nahamsek on YouTube, check out his stuff. Check out Black Hills. They've got some courses. And start doing bug bounties. Those are platforms you're legally allowed to quote unquote hack on and get real world practice. It's not a simulation. These are real servers responding in real time. So, me personally, that's what I would recommend. So, all right, ladies and gentlemen, we are coming up to the bottom of the hour. I do greatly appreciate any last questions coming end real quick. Yeah. I think we've got all the questions answered. Thank y'all so much. I do know that there are some changes coming up with Jawjacking. I'm not sure how that's going to play out, but I will be enjoying at least the next couple of weeks with you guys on a standard Tuesday standing Jawjacking session. I do enjoy these. So we'll see how things pan out in April and coming up. I do know that bringing some fresh blood in here to a different perspective is good. It's you always don't want to hear my rantings by any means. So I'm very eager to see how that plays out as well. Seeing some other folks coming up here and giving their perspective. So I will try to start pivoting over to the panels on Friday if my jawjackings are not there. So that way I can at least rant for a moment or two. That's always good. But again, thank y'all so much for tuning in. I do greatly appreciate it. I will, if you haven't seen it, where to catch us next, myself, Brandon Pearson, and Katya K, we're all, we got CTI stuff and everything. We're actually talking on a thing called Breakfast Club tomorrow. I'll be posting a thing about it on LinkedIn for you to go over there and register. It's free to register if I remember correctly. So if you're wanting to hear more CTI related stuff and what we're seeing in the space, definitely go over there and check that out. Like I said, I'll be posting something on LinkedIn here a little bit, probably in the next hour or so. So definitely follow me over there. And if you're on audio, I see you. Try to save, and we'll see y'all next time. Until then, stay curious, my friends.
Hey everybody, I hope you enjoyed that content. Keep the cybersecurity train going by connecting with the other Simply Cyber community resources. We have the Discord server that's lively and always keeps the conversation going. You can connect with me directly on LinkedIn. And also every single weekday morning on the Simply Cyber channel, we're doing live daily cyber threat briefings, 8 a.m. Eastern time, as well as Thursday at 4:30 p.m. We're doing live stream interviews with industry experts, and we produce videos that we push out every Wednesday morning. I'm Jerry from Simply Cyber. I hope you enjoyed the content, and we'll see you in the next one.
So real quick, the sea shanty, please. I don't know. There's been a lot of changes on the platform. I don't know if I'm allowed to play it. I know you're not the first person who asked me about it. If you go over to my YouTube channel, it's right there. You can be able to listen to it anytime you want to. I just don't know if I'm currently allowed to play that anymore. So I will talk to Jerry. I've been meaning to, just like James McQuiggan. I've been meaning to get with him. I'll try to shoot a message to Jerry and get clarification to see if I am allowed to play it. I just don't want to do something I'm not allowed to do. So I'll get clarification on that. But again, you're not the first person to have asked that. But anyway, thank you. Thanks again. And we'll see y'all next week. Take care all.